Well, anyway, let's get into draft. KC versus GIANTX. KC on the blue side this time. GIANTX have picked on the red side. Sorry, GIANTX have picked the blue side. Talia banned away. Varus once again removed from possibility. Jace against Canna. No real surprises there. And we'll see if KC once again go for the Azir ban. We had the Gwen played in game 1, so that's one of our priority picks already off the card.
Still keeps banned. The Pantheon Wukong still up and available, so I'm not sure if you want to try and get rid of one of them. And but it more than likely is going to be a trade of them here. But I'm curious as to what the last ban was going to be. It was an odd one. It was Vladi, yeah. So Wukong Pantheon still up and available. But
Sion also
was banned away in the last game. Wow. Okay.
Insta-lock Sion. He is very strong right now.
Yeah.
Just such a good tank. Deals with a lot of top lane matchups really well, and becomes pretty unkillable later on in the game if you can get that Soul Furnace stacked up effectively. KC have hovered Aurora as their first hover in every single game so far, so don't take too much stock in the fact that that is currently being hovered. We'll see what they decide to pick up to try and deal with the side. Oh well, do take some stock in the fact it's hovered because it's locked in here. Wonder if it will be Canna in the top lane most likely. Can of course be flexed in towards mid.
I don't personally like it in towards
the Sion.
Like, I think you can, obviously you'll win the laning phase, you'll get the push and stuff like that, but I think the Sion just outscales so well that eventually you can just ignore your damage and attack the wave, so you kind of lose the side lanes, and there you go, So we'll be going towards Vladi, I imagine, in the mid lane, but I'm surprised to see that as the priority. Because I think like you're still seeing picks like the Annie that's rising up. Even I wouldn't mind something that can do a bit more of the backline DPS as well. Like if you have something like a Victor that can try and provide a bit of that buzz. There is the Annie taken away on the opposite side.
And it looks like that's where Jackie's is going to go. Known more for his kind of mechanical execution of champions, things like the Akali I really associate with Jackie's. Instead, it is Xinxiao locked in for GIANTX, and now the Annie will be locked in second. So still top side of the map for GIANTX, locked on the first rotation. We saw KC answer this last time. Pantheon the likely pick, and there it comes in for Yike. So they've got good CC, great burst potential with the Aurora and the Pantheon in that mid lane, but Annie can always be a little bit tricky to get on top of because you just proc up that stun.
Yeah, I still think you need something from KC's side that can deal with the Sion, because as you were saying, he can already be so strong at taking over a game. You need something that can be a bit of a tank shredder, but maybe looking at something like the not so much as a regular tank shredder, but Senna, or sorry, the Sivir for late game damage could be pretty decent. But
you got Sivir, Jinx, Aphelios if you want any of those three, right? If you just want to play hyper scaling. Got a good front line as well with the Cassante already in there, Pantheon as well to block up with the Aegis Assault, so wouldn't be surprised if we see a more traditional hyper carry here for Caliste.
The only thing I'd be worried about, I was going to say, with both Sivir and Aphelios is the being short range into an Annie makes it a little bit difficult and can be a little spooky, so probably something like the Jinx unless it's banned away. And then you're going to be able to play very much through kind of your mid jungle to try and look for power and then try and lean that in towards early dragon control.
That makes a lot of sense. Rakan banned away by GIANTX alongside the Corki removed from KC. Braum a ban. Did we miss a ban on the side of KC there? I'm only seeing the Corki.
Yeah.
We'll inform you as soon as possible as to what KC have decided to do. Aphelios is their lock, as you say, short range. But you were talking a little bit about the Annie being a problem. Cassante can mark her and then just all out her out of a fight if he needs to, right?
I think it's just the it's the Xinxiao when becomes lightning, you're getting in range for Sion. If he does ults, can kind of keep you at bay as well, thanks to that decimating smash. And you're going to be able to answer with the Jinx, which I think just in this sort of situation, the longer range does end up playing a pretty nice value into what's coming up and available.
I agree with you there. And GIANTX had a pretty strong early game last game as well. If they do decide to go for the Jinx, getting her ahead in the early game becomes very difficult for the enemy team actually to deal with you in team fights. And both compositions are looking towards a little bit of that team fighting. Jhin and Jinx, the two current hovers for GIANTX alongside that Rell. And KC will have a little bit of side lane threat with the Pantheon. Obviously that Grand Starfall can do a lot of work.
Sorry, just an update as well, that ban is misfortune.
Oh,
that was on the KC side. But
a misfortune ban.
Unfortunately, as we start to move on, Thresh, obviously the regular pairing that we're starting to see more and more with Aphelios just to try and reposition them, but still both sides, I mean, it's bread and butter, right? Front to back team fighting, both very, very strong. You got a little bit of more global and potentially the threat on side lanes around the Aurora onto Annie with the Pantheon, but realistically, it's both mid laners are how can we get on towards the squishy AD carry and see if we can murder them.
Yeah, it's all about flanks and positioning when it comes to later team fights. In terms of push early on, top lane's kind of a wash, you know, Cassante into Sion. Mid lane, we'll see. The Annie can get a little bit of push. Her Disintegrate, giving back the mana if you kill a minion with it, really helps her out in the early laning phases. And then Jinx with the rockets can push the Aphelios a little bit. Depends on how he's using his guns, what rotation he's on. Especially when he has Gravitum, that purple gun, it's quite hard for the Aphelios actually to get pushed back out.
Yeah, and I think that's what you kind of continue to see is just the Jinx should be able to get decent shove on that bottom side. And then you can try and play for invades into the enemy jungle if you want to. Especially as you start to get over to 6 for Annie. I don't really think you want to like just set up 4 team fights where the mid laners are able to match each other. I'd imagine Annie is just going to ult Aurora off cooldown essentially as we start to come up towards objectives and make sure that she's just not present for the fight at all.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Let's get into game 2 of this best of 3 between GIANTX and KC. GIANTX had a solid early game in game 1, but KC really wrested the game out of their control. KC currently undefeated here in Summer, not just in series, but also in games. 2-0 versus Na'Vi. Now 1-0 versus GIANTX, who are sprinting up towards this top side. Looking to see perhaps if Canna oversteps, if they can get a flash out of him early doors, but Canna's down in the bottom lane right now, so it's going to be much ado about nothing, as neither of the teams will meet up.
Yep, so everyone's just going to back away. Looks like they're going to place a ward there, just to spot out exactly what's going to happen. See if Locke can maybe play a little bit more aggressive up into that top push and catch Canna out on the level 1 with the Decimating Smash. But either way, I think this is going to be a relatively slow game anyway. Maybe you can get some action in towards the mid lane for Yike. But overall, I think it's just going to be a case of wait to scale up and see how we can try and use lane pressure to get some of these early objectives.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see any of that early dragons that we've been seeing across the last few series. Game 1, about 6 minutes or so, we saw the first one taken down. KC have been on the ball, on the timer for those as well in their first couple of games. It looks like Yike has a tiny lead. He pinged a ward, so he's 5 gold ahead in the jungle right now, Rob. Maybe he will balloon into something else. The early 5 gold. Didn't go for the pot as well, which... Oh, actually, Targamas ahead as well. 10 whole gold lead here for KC.
I think it's over.
Yeah.
That is truly instrumental.
I do like the don't take a pot in the jungle strat. It means that you can go back, get your pickaxe a little bit earlier. If you manage to get a kill early on as well, you got 1,100 gold. You can go for the Caulfield's Warhammer if you want. Often we do see the pickaxe early on from our junglers if you're going towards, you know, the Eclipse or something. But Sundered Sky probably on the menu for both of these junglers.
The only thing I'm a little curious about is if it actually ends up, because you've got push on bottom side, if it now gives Isma a little bit of an opportunity to try and play for a window into that bottom side, playing off of bot lane pressure, just because you don't really need the pot, but it's still nice to have that little bit of HP and even the regen in an early fight. So I'm curious if Isma does try and make something happen, but you can see Vladi there getting that ward down will spot out that whatever Isma starts to get up to.
Yeah, he'd have to take a longer route round. Could just like hard force it. Just go in, invade, say, okay, we're going for it, but doesn't really have push in mid lane right now. Wind becomes lightning across the wall, will be spotted. He steps into the vision range of that ward. Yike already on his wolves, so unlikely to see any of that early invading happening from either of these two junglers.
Yeah, and I think this is, again, just going to continue. It's just going to be a nice, easy sailing. But everyone kind of wants to try and get for those, up towards those quick first items. I like this early reset from Noah. This is kind of what became the evolution of the Jinx versus Aphelios matchup. Is Jinx pushes in, first 4 waves, crashes, resets, pick up coal, and then immediately come back into that bottom side. And it means that then Aphelios has to push in bot to try and match really quickly to get the coal match.
Or go top, because the Sion can survive a little bit easier into the 2v1 matchup than the Cassante can. So Noah going to be perhaps gifted some solo XP and gold. He will be for a little bit. The question is whether or not Jun will then join him on that top side. See Targamas and Caliste having to push out that extra wave, only now getting their recall timers off. But Targamas, I think, was his recall stopped there for a second by the Sion? Looks like it was a little bit later. A TP coming out from Canna to match, as we will have both the bot laners heading up towards that top side. Ooh, Canna's gone Cull on the Cassante. Not something we too commonly see, but knows it's, you know, it's a handbags fight. Exactly, no one's doing any damage to anyone up towards this top bottom side now.
Yeah, all you want to do is just try and get, again, it's just scale as much as possible. Cole going to be matched there for Caliste as well. And the slow push though, this is where it gets curious. So I think with the slow push that Noah has on top side, he could actually then go for a reset into then set up into bot, into Dragon, which is what I imagine GIANTX are going to try and play for. And this is kind of the value you can get by having the Jinx here. And when she gets that initial first push, maybe Yike tries to move up here to disrupt it, or at least to try and protect it. That's why you can see Isma very quickly trying to make his way up towards this top side as well.
It's also why Targamas used a control ward in the pixel bush there to make sure that there's a little bit of threat, there's a little bit of doubt in the mind of the GIANTX's bot lane. Lot here trying to proxy, unable to do so. I think Canna did lose a few minions here. Minion blocked on his way back out. Noah with Isma and Jun in the area to reinforce him. Should be able to get the push out here, and then does look like Laure is still pathing out towards bot. So no secondary exchange of lanes from Noah and Jun.
But that's the important part here for KC, was just trying to keep Noah and Jun here, because if they crash, they're able to move. But now you're in a position where Caliste would actually be a great spot to shove back out. You'd end up losing too much CS, and GIANTX have to keep the lanes in the way they're on. And I mean, Laure's been pretty happy. He's kind of just able to avoid Canna's damage, get another wave for himself, got the reset through as well, without Canna getting a plate for himself. Not going to be too shabby either.
And Canna can just proxy this, knowing that Isma was on the top side a couple of moments ago. There's no threat on him. He's about to go over towards that level 6, as is Lot. Mid lane, not really too much happening here. Vladi has a very slight CS lead. Jun is looking for a gank, but Vladi, you've got across the veil, which he uses. You've got the weirding for movement as well, and even the between two worlds ultimate as well to escape. Aurora, not the easiest champion to gank.
So I was trying to spot where Canna put his ward, because he ended up going in for to get him behind the turret, and I thought he might have placed a ward in the lane to try and spot if Noah and Jun were trying to move back into this bottom side, because you can kind of see it's like Noah and Jun dictating where they want to go. They could have reset, gone down to the bottom side and looked for the dragon, but instead basically looking for a moment for Jun to try and put pressure on towards mid, and they're kind of happy, it seems like, to just avoid all contact with that bottom half of the map and just play for a push and plates.
Yeah, there's the option as well to slow push this wave, then reset, use the unstoppable onslaught from Lot to catch the wave as it pushes back out, and then have your bot lane down towards that bottom side to play for the Drake. Like we have seen a lot of those early Drake forces. We saw it in game 1 here, we saw it from KC a lot yesterday. Neither team wanting to do it here, and it is partly compositional. You talked about both teams just wanting to get towards those first items. Also partly just about how you feel in the lanes. Like at the moment, Noah and Jun seem to be happy enough dealing with Caliste and Targamas on top, and Lot seems to okay with Canna.
We're just keeping eyes on both mid laners, unsure. Well, at least for Jack, he's kind of considering going for the reset, but happy to just stick around and try and get some poke damage back on towards Vladi. Ult's used by Jackies just to try and get a chunk out of Vladi, so then they can get control. But KC now with the push on top moving.
We saw Lot doing a similar thing down towards the bottom side. Nice lantern there. Yike will be able to steal away the blue, gets level 6 first. Isma actually might. I don't think the Gromp gives him enough experience for 6, and there is a Gromp fight that could happen in about 40 seconds, so it might actually be really substantial that Yike was able to steal away that blue.
Yeah, and I like that KC are looking for these angles, because it's when the Infernum is there for Caliste, that's where you can actually look for the trade, but Noah's face checked.
Oh, Noah has straight into Caliste, trying to trade back, but it's Severum and Crescendum there for Caliste. It's not something you really want to trade into. Isma did hit 6 off the Grump, so he just had enough experience to tick over. Grub's up in 13 seconds, and with Noah so chunked out, he's going to have to back away. Lantern down. Jun wisely holding on to the crash down there before the play.
But this is a big mistake from Noah, because, well, I thought Caliste was going to stick around, because you've got red-white, you can do a ton of damage to those structures and actually get some of the turret plates, but it looks like Void Grubs instead is going to be their main focus, but that could have been just a massive, well, what's already a decent goal lead for Caliste, ballooning hugely.
Good ward as well here from KC to know that Isma is going for the Drake. It's the expected trade. We're on the Grubs. Your bot laner was just forced out. He's had to run back towards bot, so then you can take the Drake away. But because they had the ward down, Vladi and Targamas can be a nuisance. Grand Starfall is available for Yike. 2 Grubs already picked up. Yike looking for the engage here, comes down. Doesn't really find anyone. Jun forced back down low. The engage, though, immediately Jun diving in, and KC caught all unawares with the unstoppable onslaught coming out as well. Yike's gonna fall 2. It's 2-0 in favor of GIANTX.
KC should not have tried to overforce there. already Noah had reset and moved back in towards his bottom side, so it's always going to be a number advantage for GIANTX in the play. And even then, KC just got blown up the second they looked into that river.
Yeah, you could see, like, the whole sequence from KC looked good on paper. We're talking about it. Take the 2 grubs, Grand Starfall in, put the control ward down. But as soon as they look for this engage with the Grand Starfall, the immediate turn from GIANTX.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that Laure is here. Like, he's ulting in, so everyone in KC has already got to piece out and just move into a completely different place. I think if I was KC in this, you just go for the Void Grubs and then turn up towards topside with those red-white guns, right? We already kind of talked about how quickly you can take it, and suddenly you're 2 plates up, you're matching the objectives, and your Aphelios then just becomes a major threat in the maps. But now, giving that kill over, it did go to lot in the end, so not the end of the world, but definitely hurting a little bit.
Another early game fumble as well from KC. Yeah. We saw how well they played mid-late games, their team fighting absolutely on point in game 1 of this series, but GIANTX have shown in the early game they know what they're doing, they know what they're about. KC with the TP coming in from Targamas, he's on that unsealed spellbook madness once again, as is Jun. They have to keep our eyes out for whether or not they switch over to those smites. Importantly, nerf a couple of patches ago, or last patch, only does 600 damage, and 900 damage. So at level 1, the smite is equal to Yikes and Isma's, but as soon as Yike and Isma get those treats in, it's not going to be equal. No.
Yeah, I am kind of surprised to see Targamas not going for the Guardian. Like, it was buffed on this patch as well. True. And when you're kind of forced to play around the burst from Jackie's, like a Flash Annie or something like that, I think the extra shield could have been nice for Caliste. It does mean he'll need to be on point with having exhaust available for some of these key fights and matching that with Jackie's, but that could be a little tough.
Like with some good movement here. Blast coming into the Rift Tower pit to escape the vision that Lotka put down. Canna's at half HP, but he wants to go all out, so that HP doesn't really matter too much. Lotte with the Unstoppable Onslaught will land the stun onto Yike. Knock up with a Decimating Smash, but Canna dashing past it. Isma here to join the party. Lotte dodging away, and so tanky. A super mega death rocket from downtown connects as Noah looks to help out his teammates with the fight. Yike's on a control ward, out of vision, out of mind right now as Jackie's lands the Tibbers, the Lantern down. Stun connects. Vladi will flash, and with the weirding won't escape. The disintegrate enough to get him down. Lotte with the Roar, the Slayer, and the Soul Furnace will manage to pick up a kill as Isma continues to chase forward. Canna has to burn his flash, and it's 4-0 GIANTX.
Once again, GIANTX are taking over in the early game. Fights in both of the solar laners' positions, but there's just nothing that KC can do. GIANTX just have more in the tank right now.
And a 2,000 or 1,600 gold lead, GIANTX absolutely to the races in this game. Noah having to back away a little bit, the wave pushing him, but Jun's on his way across. Ghost heal on this Rell, just for the extra mobility to get in towards the back of those fights. Doesn't have the Magna Storm, obviously just use that in the mid lane, but really here just to protect Noah more than anything. I love what GIANTX have done in this early game as well. It's not about making sure that Noah is really fed. You can play through the other lanes. Noah will get big. You don't have to play around the Jinx, just get him farm, get him gold, and then slowly he will come online through this matchup.
Yeah, for GIANTX, they are in a really strong position. The fact that you can use the early kills on towards Annie to accelerate her towards first item play for that now, in towards things like the next dragon, the Rift Herald play as well. Crucially, get some more of that gold with the Rift Herald in towards that Jinx, and like you can shift her in towards the mid lane and use that Rift Herald. I think you're just going to be able to start this snowball going, but again, we saw this from GIANTX in the last game. We've seen it from GIANTX before. It's more about being consistent now in the mid game. You have a very clear game path on play around objectives, play for a strong team fight. Just try and take this nice and simple.
Well, Canna has no flash here, does still have the all-out. Jackie's looking for the stun with the disintegrate, won't land it, but a good path maker for Canna. Dodges at the side of the decimating smash, and although he's chased out, he survives on half HP. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Caliste was the one to move here, as we saw Vladi going down to catch the wave in bot. Caliste gets another plate to his name and a 600 gold lead for the Aphelios. Collector complete alongside the Kraken Slayer for Noah. Saw that buff a couple of patches ago. It's kind of the go-to for a lot of AD carries now.
Yeah, I think it's...
Noah just missed a mid. Like, he autoed the same minion 3 times and missed it. Come on, man. Like, there's a reason you finished your cold second.
He also missed the card.
Oh, God.
But
he's too concentrated on getting the animals into the arc that he can't focus on CSing.
Well, a cannon isn't an animal, so he's not focused on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that Caliste has gotten the solo XP and topside when everything was going a bit wrong for GIANTX the bottom side means that Caliste is kind of the guy that you have to rely on here. He got a couple of the plates. He is in a decent spot now with Collector, and you can look to play off of this one-item spike for KC, the next dragon. But
oh, Grand Starfall. TP's coming out from GIANTX. This is going to be very deep here for Yike. Lantern comes down, he flashes away, but they put the double wards on it immediately, and Yike just dived way too far. No safety from the Lantern, his soul goes in it, as KC once again falls short. Yike 0-3-0 on this Pantheon.
Yeah, the Pantheon has not been looking so hot this game. Again, like, there was no need to try and over-force with that. He ends up going that little bit too far forward, and GIANTX throw down the choppers and pick him off immediately. KC just don't really feel like they're on the same page this game.
Yeah, really. Miscoordinated, uncoordinated, however you want to prefix it. It was all over the place there for KC. 2,000 gold in the hole, 2 Drakes to GIANTX now alongside it. Malignant, Sundered Sky, Sunfire, Cape, Kraken Slayer, Zeke's Convergence. That's not the sort of inventories you want to be looking at if you're KC. Canna going all out, trying to find something in the solo lane against Jackies, who flashes away and dodges the Q3. He'll escape. Targamas coming in from the wings as well. Pops the ghost from the unsealed spellbook, but Tibbers is here to block the hook. That's a teddy bear that you want to keep for the rest of your life. Goes into the bush as well, just to give a little bit more vision. Yike with the smite to stop the recall. TP out from Jackie's heal escape. And KC, I mean, they'll get some damage on the tower, they'll steal some Krugs, but Jackie's manages to get away with his life.
But he went topside instead, so essentially GIANTX just want to try and match for the tower plate. Actually, he's going to reset now. I thought he was going to stick around and just try and look for the tower damage, but tower for tower, it looks like it'll probably be in the grand scheme of things, both the damage going across the tanks. Not going to quite get that tower on the top side, but
yeah, for GIANTX they don't mind too much because they've already got the feats of warfare, picking up the objectives and the first 3 kills, in fact 5 kills to nil of this game. It's a bit of gold for KC. They bring that gold deficit down to about 1.2k, but once again they are in arrears in this early game. And now they need to find a way to get themselves out of it. They are getting first items themselves, you know, Collector Leandries, Frozen Fists, and the Thunder Sky all complete for them, but it's not a good look, the early sequence of this game, because it's not even, like, GIANTX have outplayed them, but not so substantially that KC should be 5-0 down. It has been misplays that have been reacted to as the Rift Herald charges in and GIANTX get their first tower of the game. Rift Herald will be ridden down towards the bottom side. No saddle on it. I wonder what it's like inside a Rift Herald. Good movement there from Isma. But you jump into the eye, you then is it like a cocoon? Are we Kafka-esque metamorphosing inside?
Maybe it's just like a Power Rangers control panel out in front of you. You just get to move each of the different limbs as you wanted to.
Like birds aren't real, Rift Herald isn't real. It's actually just a robot. League of Legends says another tower goes down, all out from Canna. TP coming in behind as KC look to collapse. There's no tower remaining here for GIANTX. Isma using the knockback from the Crescent Guard, but Vladi comes in, goes between worlds, gets stunned up. Isma dashes forward, Vladi dashes to the other side. Isma will fall in, Grand Starfall for the follow-up, and finally KC seem on the same page. Jun has to flash away, the chase continues for KC. In the end, they call it off, but they get their first 2 of the game.
They get a nice pick. Laure had moved back up towards that top side, so they thought they had a chance. Maybe not quite on the same page.
Both of them did the optimal play. It was suboptimal in conjunction, but Canna did the right thing and Vladi did the right thing.
But yeah, Canna just going for the engage on this bottom side. The TP coming through means that they're able to get into a position, and it's just off the back of, you'll see it just in the mini-map, Sion spotted on that ward there, means that they know he has no TP, he has no ultimate to get in, so KC immediately pulled the trigger and just started to pick off everyone on GIANTX who stayed around that bit too long.
It's just the sequential slows coming out from Canna, the follow-up with the Grand Starfall. It's very hard. Noah and Jun were reacting, but they can't walk through the river to react, because if they do, the Pantheon doesn't ult, Caliste and Targamas just turn around and it's 3v2 and you're going to die in that situation. So really well done from KC to manage to pick up a couple of kills there, but they are still in a deficit. As next up we have a Drake and an Artican spawning in about a minute's time. It's Hex Soul, one of the strongest souls, or at least the most annoying in my estimations. That slow so powerful as Red Buff is pulled back. The stun onto Yike. Blast Cone gets him to safety for now. He will have to forfeit his red buff. That Bramble back will go into the hands of GIANTX.
It's allowing Laure to push in this top side as well means that they can now fall back. Dragon in 50 seconds is going to be the next main focus. Atakan is on the top side, which makes it a little tough, but that's why there's just so much vision on this top half of the map for GIANTX. They could spot out if KC are trying to rush the Atakan while they go towards Dragon. But as you say, Hextech Dragon is just so strong in this position.
Vladi missed the cannon as well.
But look,
it's just one of those days, guys, okay? CSing is hard.
this is why we lost MSI.
Is that the excuse we're going to use? Chovy just Chovy. You know what can we do?
If we just got
he can farm.
If we just got 2 cannons, that would have been it. Yeah.
100% makes sense. As GIANTX try to set up control around this Drake that's spawning. KC are nowhere near this. You can see Targamas, Caliste, and Yike all up towards that top side. It might be an Archon rush in response. That wouldn't surprise me at all. They're pinging it immediately. They're going for it. Importantly, Lot and Jackie's both have their teleports as Canna continues to push in. Takes that top tier 1. You're going to TP to top? I don't think so. It's an Atakan for Drake exchange. Unstoppable Onslaught can come out. Caliste switches away from the Severum. Now has Calibrum Crescendum. Super Mega Death Rocket hits onto Canna, not going to steal it away. Lot with the Unstoppable Onslaught can act as a bit of a distraction until the rest of his team joins, but they were a mile away. Decimating Smash charged up. Jun now looking for the flank. Cleanses away the stun. Can he get in? Good hook from Targamas, forces Jun on the back foot, but he dodges it well. There's the Magnastorm follow-up, landing onto 3s, and Jackie is there to follow up. Caliste walks away, but only for a second as he's sent home in a coffin. GIANTX will find 3 kills and lose Jackie's and Jun.
It was a little slow on the take from KC. They just don't really have enough damage, so GIANTX are able to get in position, but it's a good call. Like we talked about GIANTX having vision on this top side to try and see if this was going on, but after that vision was cleared out, GIANTX weren't able to fully get there in time. And honestly, I think for KC, you kind of take that. It's about a 3,000 gold is how much the value of Atakan is. So the fact you almost trade even, like it's a couple kills in the difference, you're going to be pretty happy, especially with the way that this game is going.
I think you're happy enough as KC. The problem is...
Yeah. Aphelios flash.
Aphelios burn flash. It's not a problem for GIANTX. They'll be pretty happy with it. The problem is you are now facing down Soul Point.
Yes.
And there's a 2-item Jinx, almost a 2-item Jackie's on this Annie, a 2-item Sion, Isma's on 2 items, and that's a little bit of a struggle bus, you know?
I do agree. I think it's just the fact that you now have some sort of combat power to match the 2k gold lead GIANTX has.
Oh, Vladi was quick with the zap there. Flame Trump's coming down there for the follow-up. Lantern is in, but again, a ward on top of the Lantern. They autoed it twice! They autoed it twice! Just zoom in! If you zoom in, you can click it! But apparently, not quickly enough there for Vladi as he falls down. GIANTX will get a tier 2 and continue to extend their gold lead. 2.8k now, we'll be up to 3.7 as KC once again are looking for that miracle. You're looking for the 5-man Pot Blossom. You're looking for some way back into this game, but you don't have the same tools that you had in game 1.
Yeah, and you don't even have the firepower either. Like, sure, the Atakan helps, but as you were saying, like, you've got 2 items in this Aphelios, he still needs another one. You've already got that last Whisper, and Noah now picking up that other kill as well has started what was initially be a lead for Caliste has now completely shifted over in favor of Noah, and he's just got so much range. It's no one really on KC can threaten Noah in a team.
Yeah. And this is the GIANTX that we heard about. These are the Scrim gods, the kings, as Jun is called, and this is also the GIANTX that we've heard about before. The Magnastorm down, Yike locked up. For a second I thought it was Jun who was found out, but once again, GIANTX find a kill on this 1-4-2 Pantheon. Now they're going to collapse around this tier 2 TP coming out from Canna. He wants to try and bolster the defenses. Good wave clear from Vladi with the 2-fold Hex in the weirding. Will delete the minion wave and force GIANTX to back away. Canna steps in, good crash down, locks him up. They're trying to avoid the wall for the all-out, takes the Lantern. Isma dives back forward, but doesn't find any purchase. AC will be able to catch this wave once again up towards the top side, but GIANTX are making them work for every step they take.
Yeah, especially with the Dragon now, a minute and a half, same with Baron. GIANTX can basically choose what they want, right? You can either play for that Hextech Soul, or you force KC to over-index into the bottom side of the map and you immediately turn and burn the Baron. You've got plenty of options now. Your Baron take isn't the greatest with an Annie, but the Zhao Jinx can do a good chunk of work, and I believe this reset should give full item here for... No, actually, no, he's still a little bit short, but... Yeah, I think once you get to 3 items on this Jinx, just before these objectives are there, you should be in a pretty good spot.
Having a whale of a time so far as we continue to see... Oh, Canna jumping across it onto... Oh, it's going to get knocked up with a decimating smash. Should be fine. Should be able to walk this one out as we...
It's the ult from Laure.
Gets out. Yeah, that is the ult from Laure.
He didn't get a lot.
He didn't. Oh, it's about sending a message apparently as Yike once again is the one that GIANTX immediately dive onto. Noah happily takes the kill. Canna here has to try and get across this wall. Has still got his flash, goes all out as perhaps this is the moment for KC to turn it around. Infernum grabbed him, not the best guns for Caliste, but another hook hitting onto Isma, who flashes across the wall, but he's met with a flamethrower from Caliste. 2 kills to KC. They finally find something in this game. It's not enough for now, but they have killed the enemy jungler with Drake up in 10.
And a Pantheon that can ult back in, but you see here, Yike ends up going straight into the hands of GIANTX as he tries to move out of his jungle. They end up picking him off, but Canna survives for so long on the opposite side here and positions himself where Caliste can actually get good damage. The Infernum ultimate doing some good work, and then as well as Isma just getting mowed down, can't really get into position. Good hook from Targamas, and the flash just that bit too late. Didn't want to commit it early, but as we come back into live, you can get the Yike ult in towards the dragon if you want to. KC actually just going to take it, and now you're in a position to contest for the Baron. And look at the guns for Caliste. Not great. Grabbing some Infernum. Red-white. Let's fight.
Let's do it. Let's go for a battle. Still a 4,000 gold hold. Lord Dominic's Regard finished on Noah. The Void Staff as well already complete for Jackies has been a great chunk of time. Baron begun.
Vladi's only resetting as well, so...
He does have TP, no deep vision for him. There's a ward around the mid lane. Vladi's going to teleport to that ward. 7,000 on the Baron. The Lantern just short now gives them vision as Vladi steps forward. GIANTX pulling off it a little bit. Lot still sticks there with the aggro on him. Looks like GIANTX don't want to go for the flip. Instead, they will just flop their way back towards the mid lane.
Yeah, especially when Yike has the Grand Starfall flash as well to get into the pit. It would always be a little bit of a risky 50-50 with the Lantern to get him back out. So GIANTX called it off, but they did get the TP from Vladi at least, but they may... Okay, yeah, they are going to finish it up here.
Yep. They will just back away, go down towards that bottom side, get the red buff over to their team. KC now trying to get some vision control, some purchase back in the game in their own jungle. They don't have vision on the Baron right now. They kind of assume it's not happening as they put the Lantern down. They'll know for sure. Triple Oracle's alteration for KC will help them clear out a little bit of vision, but you can see the quads for GIANTX. They really want to make sure that KC are always in the darkness.
And KC are just trying to funnel everything into Caliste here. He's taken that bottom side jungle. He took the last mid wave. He's taken this one as well. So I'm assuming he's very, very close to his 3rd item as well. And that's all that KC want to try and play for.
Yeah, you can see he's 1.7k behind, but he's still the 2nd highest on his team, just below Canna and Vladi down at 9,000. Basically 3k behind the enemy carry. Annie's job, like, she can carry a fight, but she doesn't do it via consistent DPS. It is a big Tibbers, a big stun, and then a few spells afterwards. They do damage, and that's why you've gone for the Void Staff, because you want to penetrate some of that magic resist, but most of the job here for GIANTX rests on Noah's shoulders, as it rests on Caliste's shoulders in terms of raw damage output. GIANTX deny the vision in the pit once again. Drake up in 3 minutes. So this is kind of the dozy-do, the ring around the rosy that we'll be playing for the next while or so. GIANTX just playing off 2 ways, ignoring bot entirely, knowing they want everyone here when a fight begins.
Yeah, I think the GIANTX at this stage kind of need to feel a bit braver. The Caliste isn't in a position where he's actually the strongest. Now he's kind of ticked over to some decent guns, but was sitting on Gravitum for quite a while there. And that could have been a moment where you look for the fight, but now with Infernum and Severum, I don't think you really want to go for this. But either way, it's these small windows where KC are behind on big ticket items is when you can try and take those fights.
100% agree. I think the thing that probably plagues GIANTX's mind a little bit is Isma getting caught at Razor Beaks in the last game, right? Like, you can talk about reset, go next, just play the game that's in front of you, but if it's in our minds, it's definitely in the players' minds that they have had it in, not the palm of their hands, but they had it close, as the Unstoppable Onslaught's used by Laure to get away from the death sentence. Makes it more of a full stop than anything else, as Rim becomes lightning just short on Canna, but these top laners so tanky now, 3 items apiece. They're very willing just to step up and be those meat shields for their teams.
With Lot's ultimate down, though, becomes a little bit more of a bluff, let's say, for GIANTX, where, yes, they can contest as they fall back, and you have to walk into the death. Oh, wait a second.
Massive stun onto Yike once again. He flashes away, but he goes to meet his maker. Playing for the red buff, Yike just overstepping. Great flash engage from Jackie.
Yeah, especially because Aphelios was shown on that top wave, so I was like, KC, you just end up fall back. You don't need to just play for the red, and you have no real ease of engage because Jun didn't have the flash to try and follow up, but if you just continuously walk into the decimating smash, that's going to be the easy setup then for Jackies to finish you off.
And GIANTX will get the Baron 30 minutes in, 12 kills to 6, 6,000 gold their lead, Drake up in 40 seconds time, and it will be sold for them if they can secure it. KC in game 1 needed a 5-man Pop Blossom to turn it in their favor. Here GIANTX have been methodical, yes, slower than it could have been, but still patient, controlled play to gain control of the map. As I say that, Jun just goes in! The Magna Storm down, but they're 2v3. Isma diving forward, the Severin will heal Caliste up with a Moonlight Vigil. Canna flashes in, Grand Starfall out as well. Canna dashing away, there's the Timbers! They were just deleted! Gone in an instant, evaporated, eviscerated! A quadra for Noah, make it 5! The Penta for the Jinx, and the win in GIANTX's eye!
GIANTX came to play, Scrim Gods showing up on the stage here today. A commanding performance against KC in what looked a little dicey at the start. Worked out fantastically.
There was no Pop Blossom, but one of the teams definitely went pop. GIANTX even out the series, give KC their first loss of summer, and we're going to game 3.
That was fantastic from GIANTX. Full control in the early stages, playing towards our win conditions, denying any answer for KC, and they're pushing us to game number 3.
There they are, we'll be back right after this. Don't you dare go anywhere.